Welcome to the second and final plenary sessions for today on the topic Global Grant for Rotaract. As the speaker for this session, we have Rotarian Doris Green, a member of the Rotary Club of Hockenheim RID 1867, and also the co-chair of the Rotary International Rotaract Committee 2021. Professionally, she is the CFO of Industrial Automation ABB Spain. Let us welcome Rotarian Doris Green.
Hello from Madrid. Happy to join you at the Rotaract South Asia Summit. Today we will talk about the fantastic opportunities that Rotaractors will have from 2022 onwards. Participation in district and global grants for Rotaractors. 2022 is only 6 months away from now, so time to get yourself informed and ready. So by joining this session, you will become familiar with district grants and global grants. Learn how Rotaract Clubs can participate in Rotary grants and what you can do now to be ready. Learn about ways in which Rotaractors can support the foundation. Before we jump into the topics, I would like to take a moment to introduce myself. My name is Doris Green. Having been a Rotaractor in Spain, Germany, Switzerland, and US for almost 10 years, I covered roles such as District Rotaract Representative or Vice President of the European Rotaract Multi-District Information Organization. 6 years ago, I joined the Rotary Club of Hockenheim in Germany. As the Rotaract District Chair for District 1860, I have seen some amazing projects Rotaractors came up with. This year, I am co-chair of the Rotaract Committee. I have a degree in international business as well as industrial engineering and am a CFO in an automation company in Spain. The opportunity for Rotaractors to participate in district and global grants really warms my heart, as I assisted in the coordination of a global grant applied for by a Rotary Club but executed by Rotaractors of more than $50,000. Well, what did we do? In order to support child and maternal health, we carried out different fundraising activities, among others a flea market, in order to be able to buy 15,000 mosquito nets for Nigeria. Then we participated in the negotiation with the company that produced and transported them. Had to find new producers in Nigeria when laws changed, and on top of that, we filled in the yearly report for the foundation. I can tell you, it is worth to visit the training seminars, as the paperwork is quite something which goes way easier when you are trained. Overall, it is and was a great opportunity for Rotaractors to learn about different aspects of intercultural project work, which we could also do thanks to the confidence the sponsoring Rotary Club had in us. So how great is it that Rotaract Club involvement in grants will soon be official? Many districts have mechanisms to involve Rotaracted members in district grants and global grants, and many of you have been building up your experience. However, beginning in January 2022, districts will have the option to include Rotaract Clubs directly into their district grant spending plans. And beginning in July 2022, Rotaract Clubs can apply for global grants to support their service efforts in their own communities or abroad. To be eligible to sponsor a global grant, a Rotaract Club must have partnered previously with a Rotary Club or district on a global grant-funded project and must be qualified. Also, Rotaract Clubs wishing to apply for a global grant must have a Rotary Club as a co-sponsor on the Rotary grant application. In general, Rotaract Clubs are encouraged to begin their involvement in grants through district grants. Once they build their club's capacity to carry out grant-funded projects, they can consider moving on to a global grant. But what exactly are the different types of grants? Coming to district grants, they fund small-scale, short-term activities that addresses needs in your community and or communities abroad. Districts are responsible for managing these grants and choose which activities they will fund. There aren't many restrictions as long as the district grant activities support the mission of the Rotary Foundation, which is the following. The Rotary Foundation helps Rotarians to advance world understanding, goodwill, and peace by improving health, providing quality education, improving the environment, and alleviating poverty. District grant funding can support local service projects, international humanitarian projects, scholarships, and vocational exchanges. District grants can support scholarships at any level of study and for any study area. Similarly, vocational exchanges funded by district grants have great flexibility and don't need to align with any specific topic area or provide formal training. Districts must be qualified before they can administer district grants. We will talk about qualification later on in this presentation. District may use up to 15% of their district designated fund to apply for one district grant annually. As part of the application process, districts submit a spending plan which provides basic information about the district plans to distribute the funds. This plan includes the sponsoring club, the amount requested on a brief description of the activity. Remember, beginning in January 2022, districts can include Rotaract Clubs directly in their spending plans for grants to be awarded beginning 1st of July 2022. The other grant type Rotaractors can get involved are global grants. Global grants support large international activities with sustainable, measurable outcomes in Rotary's areas of focus. A key feature of global grants is partnership between the club or district where the activity is carried out and a club or district in another country. Both sponsors must be qualified before they can submit an application. Global grants have a minimum budget of $30,000 and a maximum world-funded award of $400,000. Grant sponsors can use a combination of district-designated funds, DDF, cash, and/or directive gifts and endowment earnings to fund a global project. The foundation will provide an 80% World Fund match for all DDF contributions. Global grants can support humanitarian projects, scholarships, and vocational training teams. Global grant scholarships support international graduate and postgraduate study for a period of 1 to 4 years. Global grant vocational training teams support groups of professionals to travel abroad to provide and receive training. Beginning July 2022, Rotaract Clubs can apply for global grants. To be eligible to sponsor a global grant, a Rotaract Club must have partnered previously with the Rotary Club or district on a global grant-funded project and must be qualified. If one sponsor is a Rotaract Club, the other needs to be a Rotary Club. Wow, that is quite a lot of to compensate here. And I would suggest let's have a look at some of the keywords so that you understand a bit better what you need in order to qualify. Let's get started with the areas of focus. As I mentioned before, global grants must be aligned with Rotary's areas of focus. Well, these are areas which have specific causes that Rotary International has identified, or together with the Rotarians, to target to maximize our local and global impact. Through global grants, we help clubs focus their service efforts in the following areas: peace building and conflict prevention, disease prevention and treatment, water, sanitation and hygiene, maternal and child health, basic education and literacy, community economic development, environment. And this is the latest edition, and I always think it fits perfectly to Rotaract, this new edition. Well, additionally, Rotaract clubs must support projects that are sustainable. Sustainable means different things to different organizations. And for Rotary, sustainability means providing long-term solutions to community needs that the beneficiaries can maintain after grant funding ends. To help Rotaractors and Rotarians to understand what is meant by sustainability, Rotary International, as well as the Rotary Foundation, have identified 6 steps that can help to ensure the long-term sustainability of a project. The most important place to start when designing a sustainable project is to conduct a community assessment. The club in the location where the project will take place, what we call the host sponsor, should work with the members of the benefiting community to identify a need and develop a solution that builds on community strengths and aligns with the local values and culture. The next step in developing a sustainable project is to encourage local ownership of the project. Empowering community members to assess their needs and plan projects that address them leads to the most effective projects and the most sustainable outcomes. The third step is to provide training. A project success depends on the people. By providing training, education, and community outreach, you strengthen the beneficiaries' ability to meet the project objectives. Step 4 is to buy local. Whenever possible, you should purchase equipment and technology from local sources and make sure that spare parts are available locally too. The next step is to find local funding for your project. It is important to work with the beneficiaries to determine what the long-term financial needs are and to create a plan to meet those needs. The last step is to measure your success. First, gather data before you begin with the project to determine where you are starting from. Include clear and measurable outcomes in your project plan and decide how you will collect data throughout your project and afterward. Well, I'm pretty sure some of these steps sound really familiar for you. Judging from the applications for the Outstanding Project Awards, I would say a lot of these criteria are already fulfilled by your projects. Nevertheless, it is worth remembering those 6 steps when you want to apply for a global grant. So one topic a lot of Rotaractors are worried about, or we get a lot of questions, is the topic of qualification. As I mentioned earlier in the presentation, districts must become qualified in order to receive grant funding from the Rotary Foundation. The online qualification process helps to ensure that districts understand their financial responsibilities, including stewardship, and are prepared to take them. Qualifications must be completed each year. Once a district is qualified, its member clubs that want to apply for global grants must also be qualified. Districts are responsible for qualifying their clubs each year. So in order to become qualified, your president and president-elect must agree to implement the club qualification memorandum of understanding. Send at least one club member to a grant management seminar held by your district or complete the online grant management seminar in Rotary's Learning Center. Additionally, you need to complete additional steps that your district requires. And this is really up to the district. So, congratulations. Now you're qualified. And well, I guess being a Rotaractor, you can't wait to start your project. So you put up your sleeves and just do it, right? The world has desperately waited for your help, isn't it? Well, maybe not. Imagine the latter case. And that is why clubs that want their project to qualify for a global grant need to go through a community assessment. A community assessment is one of the first steps that should be taken before beginning a grant-funded project. A community assessment explores your community strengths, weaknesses, needs, and assets in an essential first step in planning an effective project. By taking time to learn about your community, you can discover the most relevant opportunities for projects and maximize your club's ability to make a meaningful impact. Community assessment are a required component of global grants. A community assessment can help you get a better understanding of the dynamics of your community and help both you and the beneficiaries to make important decisions about service priorities. Even if you're actively involved in your community, an assessment can reveal additional strengths and opportunities for growth. Perhaps you will find a new way to address a known issue. Before you start an assessment, consider what you specifically want to learn about your community. An effective assessment will reveal things you did not know before. Doing an assessment also helps you build valuable relationships and encourages community members to actively participate in making lasting improvements. It is a critical first step in creating trust, community ownership, and sustainability. So here are some general tips to keep in mind when you're conducting a community assessment. You should stay open-minded. Don't presume you know what the community needs. You will be surprised sometimes when you are really open to their needs. Choose participants carefully. Consider the makeup of the community and ensure that you include a diverse cross-section of relevant groups. So this goes for gender, age, ethnicity, religion, income level, vocations, well, you name it. You should also include overlooked or marginalized groups. Women, young people, the elderly, and religious or ethnic minorities are often overlooked. Keep the community's social dynamics in mind and provide a forum where they feel comfortable sharing their view. Consider yourself an outsider, even if the community you want to work with is local. Find a well-connected individual group or organization that can introduce you to your target stakeholders groups. Don't promise a project, please don't promise a project before you make a decision. But do assure participants that you let them know what your club decides. And this is important, letting them know that you will decide and what they will be deciding. So give feedback there. And also invite them to take part in any future activities. So now you know all the criteria. You are probably as excited as I am and wonder how you can get started. Well, the good thing is you do not need to wait till 2022. You can already get started now. You could help your community and the world, as it is essential to everything that Rotary does, and the Rotary Foundation provides opportunities for you to support the causes that you care about. Rotaries, every Rotarian, every year, ask each Rotarian to make a contribution of some size. It's easy to do online, and if you like, you can even set up a recurring gift. Polio Plus is Rotary's highest giving priority outside of annual fund. Just a few cases remain, but we have all seen the power of a virus to jump back more virulent than ever. Perhaps you could organize a fundraiser around World Polio Day using Race for Rotary, our online platform for asking others to join you in supporting a Rotary Foundation cause. Right now, Race for Rotary only supports dollars, but there are other ways like Facebook to organize these efforts. And the Rotary Foundation is happy to help you here. Also, gifts to endowment funds and directed gifts often support the areas of focus. Rotary's newest area of focus is the environment. And there are so many ways to support it through the Rotary Foundation. Whether a gift online or a fundraiser or a club effort, you can help to make this world a better place through Rotary. To make a donation, visit rotary.org/donate. To start a fundraiser on Race for Rotary, visit rotary.org/raise. In case you prefer some hands-on activities, there are also several ways. You can learn about global grants. You started today by attending this session, but there's so much more to it. For example, by completing the grant management seminar in Rotary's Learning Center. Go out there with your Rotary Club and help conduct a community assessment and preparation for district or global grant funded projects. You could also assist with hands-on implementation of a district or global grant-funded project. Help with fundraising for a global grant would also be an option. Or in case you are familiar with social media, you could assist with public relation and advocacy efforts related to a global grant. You could also lend technical, cultural, academic expertise to the development of a global grant project. Just make sure that your club is up to date on membership reporting to Rotary International, as without that registration, there is no way, and I repeat, no way you can apply for grants. So if you say now this was quite a lot of information, I couldn't take it all at once. Well, no worries. Rotary International is providing several resources to help you to take full advantage of grant opportunities. First and foremost, I encourage you to read A Guide to Global Grants. This helpful manual includes everything you need to know to get started with global grants. Rotary's website has a wealth of general and detailed information about each of our grant types. The recently refreshed Learning Center offers training resources on a wide variety of topics, including, as I mentioned earlier, information to help you to apply for foundation grants. I would encourage you and anyone interested in applying for grants to take the grant management courses in the Learning Center. And last, as mentioned earlier, community assessment tools is an invaluable resource for clubs and districts who are conducting a community assessment. Now you're prepared and can get out there to get things done. There's really nothing hindering you from getting your first district global grant started. Foundations can be built right now. Well, with that, we come to an end of this session. It was a pleasure to talk to you all, and I'm really looking forward to all the projects we will see in the future with Rotaract involvement. So, bye for now.
Thank you, Rotary and Doris Green, for sharing valuable information about our Global Grant for Rotaract. I am sure our delegates got to learn a lot from the session and will implement in the days ahead. With this, we are at the end of today's plenary session. Thank you everyone for joining us in the plenary sessions. For the delegates who have registered for the fellowship segments, you must have been received the Zoom meeting details on your email. The fellowship segments will begin shortly and you are requested to join the session. We will see you all tomorrow as we begin day 2 of Virtual Rotaract South Asia Summit with the live interaction with the Rotary International President-elect Rotarian Sekhar Mehta, 8:45 AM Nepali time. See you all tomorrow. Take care.